Y'all, ever since the Diddy drama exploded, it seems like Queen Bey can't catch a break. Now, let me be clear, there's no solid evidence against Beyonce, but you know how the internet is. Just because her hubby Jay-Z is tight with Diddy, everyone's out here playing detective, acting like Beyonce must know all the dirty details. But wait, it gets even wilder. There are whispers in the industry about a certain tape featuring Beyonce and Diddy that's apparently being auctioned off to the highest bidder. Word on the street is that media outlets are throwing millions at this thing, with TMZ leading the pack. Can you imagine? If this tape drops, it's gonna be a WAP situation for every celeb who ever got freaky at one of Diddy's infamous parties. Speaking of those parties, some seriously NSFW photos have already leaked, and let me tell you, they are not for the faint of heart. We're talking Diddy pouring champagne on two ladies getting handsy, one of Diddy's pals living his best life in a pool with two escorts, and a whole bunch of A-listers in attendance. I'm talking Kim K, Paris Hilton, Chris Brown, Leo DiCaprio, and even some surprising names like Obama and Trump. The internet is losing its mind over these pics, but apparently they're nothing compared to what's on this alleged Beyonce and Diddy tape. Now, let's talk about where all these rumors started. An attorney named Ariel Mitchell Kidd recently spilled some major tea in an interview about a new client she's representing. This client is suing Diddy for assault, and the details are seriously disturbing. According to the client, she met Diddy back in 2018 at a friend's house. After a few spiked drinks, courtesy of Diddy allegedly, she passed out. When she came to, she realized she'd been assaulted by Diddy and another man, with Diddy's assistant, Christina Karam, present in the room. It's giving major creep vibes, bestie.
Called me and told me a very horrific story about her and her escape from the. She told me that she was at a friend's house who had industry ties and was on the phone with Diddy, and he decided to come to the house. And when he came to the house, everything was fine, that there was another woman there who we've determined to be Christina Karam, KK, who Diddy talks about a lot as his right-hand woman, if you will, and that they were discussing sexing her. And then that led to her being served a drink where then she started to feel woozy. And then Mr. Combs sexed her with an inanimate object, and then actually directed another gentleman to her while he watched and pleasured himself.
The poor girl managed to escape and ran screaming for help. A neighbor took her in and called the police, but get this, nothing came of it. Apparently, Diddy's got some serious pull with law enforcement, if you know what I mean.
So she was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming, and a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood, if you will.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness. We also have a police report. As she's running out the house yelling, a neighbor saw her and invited her into the home.
Okay.
And it's the neighbor who then called the police, and the police did come out at that time. They also stated that they heard cars screeching, and the neighbor went outside and saw a black SUV leaving the premises very quickly. And by the time the police arrived, of course, he was no longer there.
Well, was the neighbor able to identify who it was?
The neighbor wasn't, only that they saw the car leaving, and
Okay.
they only described the truck. They could not tell who was inside, but she told the neighbor at the time who it was and why they were leaving so abruptly. To the high-profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. Mm-hmm. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying.
In the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police who are typically men who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, and women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
Now, here's where things get really juicy. Ariel dropped a bombshell about another potential client who's trying to sell a tape of Diddy getting freaky with another high-profile celeb. She claims she's seen the tape herself, and that the other person in it is even more famous than Diddy. Oh, and apparently, this mystery celeb had no idea they were being filmed. Yikes.
Also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and
correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
the
I can't explain who the person was, but
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was in nature.
Oh my, all right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, Diddy. And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping, like they're being surreptitiously recorded.
Of course, as soon as Ariel mentioned a high-profile celebrity, everyone and their mama started speculating that it was Beyonce. I mean, who's more high-profile than Queen Bey herself, right? But wait, there's more. Remember when DaBaby spilled some tea about getting invited to a secret meeting at Diddy's house with Beyonce and Jay-Z? According to him, Beyonce was all flirty, introducing herself like she was trying to get more than just a conversation going, if you know what I mean. DaBaby claims Diddy kicked everyone else out of the room, leaving just the four of them. And then things got a little handsy.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib. Like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope. That was super dope.
Now, let's take a trip down memory lane to that infamous Making the Band episode, where Diddy made the group walk for hours to get him a cheesecake. We all thought it was just Diddy being Diddy, right? Well, hold on to your seats because Freddie P, one of the band members, just revealed that the cheesecake wasn't even for Diddy. It was for Beyonce. Apparently, Beyonce mentioned wanting cheesecake, and instead of sending someone from her own team, she let Diddy make these poor guys walk for hours to get it. And then she had the nerve to eat it after all that drama. Talk about cold-blooded, am I right?
A lot of people don't know that cheesecake we went and got was for Beyonce. She was upstairs the whole time. What we was talking about again? Hold on. Yeah, that's a fun fact. People don't know. People like, y'all walked and got a cheesecake. It was for Beyonce. I listen to everything you say as if it's a contract. So if you say, walk to the store, or walk to get me some cheesecake, I'll walk to get you some cheesecake, but I'm not walking back. And that's just what me and Darlon did. And they like, why y'all, you know, they hot. Like, y'all cheating. And we like, he told us to walk. He ain't tell us to walk back. So we already in the hotel like 3 hours before they got there. When they said they was coming, we went and met him in front of the building. And you know the first thing that said out of his mouth? He said, we got the cheesecake. He was like, I don't want that shit. Take that shit upstairs for Beyonce. Then he said, they was like, yeah, man, we want to tell you, Fred and Darlon, they ain't walk back. You know, trying to be on some snitching shit. He's like, I ain't tell you to walk back.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Sophie, this is all just rumors and speculation. And you're absolutely right, bestie. We got to take everything with a grain of salt. But when there's this much smoke, there's usually a fire somewhere, right? Some folks are even throwing Jay-Z's name into the mix, claiming that maybe he's the one in the tape with Diddy. There have been whispers about Diddy and Jay-Z's close relationship for years, and a viral video of Diddy slapping Jay's backside on stage multiple times has only added fuel to that fire. It's like he was sending a signal or something. But let's be real for a second. None of this has been confirmed. We don't know for sure if it's Beyonce or Jay-Z in that alleged tape. Why cheat? Or if the tape even exists at all. We'll just have to wait and see if TMZ actually buys it and puts it out there for the world to see. In the meantime, the internet is doing what it does best, speculating wildly and sharing some pretty harsh opinions. One person wrote, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and P. Diddy are one and the same. She's dirty and believes she's not a victim. She loves these parties. I never cared for Beyonce. She's one of them girls that tries to come on all sweet and innocent when you know what the real truth is. They don't call her Queen Bee for nothing. Ouch, that's some serious shade right there. Another commenter said, the floodgates have opened and Diddy will be completely drained when it's over. He should have just married his kid's mother and lived a life of peace and tranquility. Now, I don't know about you, but this whole situation has me shook. We've got alleged tapes, secret parties, cheesecake drama, and some of the biggest names in the industry potentially involved. It's like a real-life soap opera, and I can't look away. But here's the thing, besties. As juicy as all this tea is, we've got to remember that these are real people we're talking about. If these allegations are true, we're dealing with some serious issues of assault and exploitation. It's not just gossip, it's potentially life-ruining stuff. And let's not forget, Beyonce has been an icon and role model for so many people for years. If there's any truth to these rumors, it could seriously damage her reputation and career. But on the flip side, if it's all just baseless gossip, imagine how hurtful and stressful it must be for her and her family to deal with these kinds of accusations. As for Diddy, well, it seems like the hits just keep on coming. From the Cassie lawsuit to these new allegations, his empire could be crumbling before our very eyes. It just goes to show that no matter how rich and powerful you are, your past can always catch up with you. So what do you think, besties? Do you believe there's any truth to these rumors about Beyonce and Diddy? Do you think Diddy might spill the tea on Beyonce if things get too hot for him during the trial? And what about Jay-Z? Do you think he's involved in any way? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because you know your girl loves to hear what you think. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you never miss out on the latest tea. Until next time, stay fabulous and stay tuned. This is Sophie Scoop signing off. Bye.